this is exciting. I've made it to CTSR, Circuit Teleguide St-Roch, for some RC racing. This is the first time I've been to this facility, and I'm excited to get in there and check it out. Heck yeah.
Hello folks, welcome to Netcruzer RC. I'm at CTSR for the Christmas race. This is my first time at CTSR, so this is I'm currently upstairs. This is their black carpet setup. This is just early morning practice. So this facility has off-road and on-road all in this same building. So this is their on-road track where we're here for this Christmas race today. Set up my pits here. I am going to be running USGT with the Tamiya TA07 Pro. For the first time ever, I'm going to be running F1. This is a st-roch Rapide F1 Evo 2. I ran a couple of practice laps with it yesterday. It's been running it well. I got this chassis used, and the guy I bought it from said it has a bit of a pull to the side on it. I figured out what that was. What it ended up being was this rear axle tube. You can shim these, right? And this silver shim was not here before, and all the shims that are on this side used to be split on both sides of this axle. So the wheels were so close together, this tire would actually hit that support brace when the pod would flex on cornering, and that was grabbing, and then it would pull to the side. Here we go, we're going out for the first time with the F1. The F1 Rapide, st-roch Rapide F1 Evo 2, first run. I've got the CRC black tires on, just sauced them. I'm gonna try it, see what it's like. I'm assuming here is the little pit setup. Oh yeah, rear wheel drive. My first rear wheel drive RC on road. I'm gonna try this and see what it's like. Roche. Oh, it's immediately got a pull to it. Alright, it's getting around. Whoa. Oh, it's slow though. It's got a lot of steering. Whoa. I think I gotta turn my steering down. Okay, now we're at -20 steering exponential. It's gobs of steering. We're gonna go to -40. I'm gonna try that. So my best lap has been a 13.4. I need the gear way up. With the gear way up. -40 steering exponential feels better. For sure. Oh, that was my best lap yet with the 12.7. Whoa. Gotta watch that coming on the power at the box there.
Something's going on. I gotta pull it in and see. I had a weird like little brownout issue there. I'm gonna see if it's getting really hot. Hot or what? It's getting around pretty good. It's really responsive. Like I had to dial my steering exponential way down to -40. I needed to gear up, and I just ended up having like a power loss there at the end, so I got to see what's going on. But the motor's cold right now with no cooling on it. So yeah, motor's coming off cold, no cooling, but I think maybe speed control is getting cooked. I'm not sure. And everything's like pretty cold to the touch. I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna play around with it a bit more and see.
Since I've now spread out those rear wheels by a good 5 mil, it's better. It's a lot better. Apparently some of the fast guys are running a 190 mil rear track width. I can't get that wide, but so I'm currently at around a 185. And how you measure that is there's a little dot there in the center of that carbon brace, and you take your calipers and you measure from the center to the outside of the tire on either side. You add it up, and that's how you get your track width. And you also want to try and get your wheels centered on that rear axle. This is a pan car style chassis. These are all new to me. The way the whole thing works with the flexing, these tubes inside of those Roche tubes is diff oil, and you can tune that, as well as then you have your center spring for dampening. The front just uses little springs that are on the kingpins here, and you can tune those as well. I don't have any of the parts. I'm pretty much just running this as it is. It gets around really well. It has gobs of steering. Next run in F1, it'll be my first qualifier with F1. I just got through tech. I had to play with that middle shock to get my bottom of the chassis up to the 4 mil height. I don't know if I did it right, but I had to raise it somehow. Anyway, these are the F1 cars going around. You can see an example of some F1 qualifying. This is a 25.5 class. This is a 25.5 motor class. So everyone's in qualifying, and in qual 1 you're trying to get consecutive best 3 laps in a row. That's how you're going to be seeded and sorted into qual 2, and then in qual 2 and qual 3 and qual 4 it's going to be your best run. Okay, at this point we are through qual 1. We're halfway or a quarter of the way through qual 2. So far I have raced the USGT twice. My problem I'm having with USGT is that this car is just too heavy. It's just really not that good of a competitive car anymore. Minimum weight is supposed to be 1350 grams in the USGT. This with its body is 1420, and that's as light as I can get it. I really just need to switch chassis, I think. I believe I'm just pushing this platform as far as it can go. I'm currently kind of near the bottom of the last heat, which is in the C, so I think I'm third to slowest in USGT. Not a great showing so far, but we'll see if I can speed it up throughout the next 2 qualifiers. There's 4 qualifiers in this race. Next car I'm going to go up with is the F1 car. This F1 has raced 1 qualifier so far. It got through it okay. I really enjoyed how smooth it was. It feels good. Since I ran that 1 qualifier, I have went into the programming on this just stock ESC. I've turned it up to max punch, as well as I've turned off drag brake. It had a 10% drag brake on by default. I've turned that off and went to max punch level. So the other thing I want to do is I still feel like I'm scrubbing off a lot of speed coming off the straightaway. I think that these tubes are just too light of oil, so I'm going to take these lube tubes off and probably put some 15K diff fluid in there before I go for qual 2, and we'll see how that goes. All right, I popped the bulk cups off. Now apparently you just pull this apart. I've never done this before, these lube tubes. I guess you just pull them apart. Okay, and that's just an empty, and then all your diff just kind of goes onto those grooves. So I gotta wipe that off. I'm just using brake cleaner, and then I will goop some lube on here. I'm going to go up to 15K. I don't know what's on here now. And then you just slip this back on, pop it on, and that's it. Wow, what a difference! What a difference! So putting the 15K oil in these tubes, great. So I'm able to now hold this corner. This is off the straightaway, full speed. I can now just pretty much hold all my speed through this section before where I was scrubbing off way too much speed. So that's great. But I went down a tooth, so I took my FDR 2.9 and I was just, people were running me over on the straightaway. So now I've geared up 2 teeth again. Now I'm at the highest gearing I've run so far. This is going to be my qual 3 try. I'm now at a 2.7 FDR. This is a 73 tooth spur with a 27 tooth pinion. These are 48 pitch gears, not ideal for F1 car, but it makes setting the mesh so much nicer. And I feel like just on a little bench test now, this feels the best it has yet. Getting some binding in my axle and I was not getting any kind of run on. And then I looked in the manual and it says you have to make sure that you have 0.2, at least 0.2 millimeters of play, which makes sense. So before, when I had shimmed it out last night, I had to shim it out because I realized that my tires were scrubbing against these side braces. I shimmed it out either side, but I kind of clamped it onto the bearings, so it was causing so much friction against the bearings that ride in here. I just loosened it off that a little bit, and now it's got the full roll on, as well as I think my mesh is the best mesh I've had yet. I had my fastest lap yet, which was an 11.3. I was more consistent. I was more consistently in the 11s in qual 2, but the car felt really slow. So now I've gone up significantly in my gearing, and now in qual 3, I got to see, can I hold that speed around the corners? And if I can, that should put me into the A, or at least top of the B. That's the goal here. On this USGT, as I mentioned, I don't think there's anything that I can do for this car. And I have the TRF here, but I don't want to put through all the work of transferring a whole car over to a new chassis. So I'm just going to run this. I don't think I'm going to do well in USGT. It's a bit of a pig, to be honest. It's a super cool looking car, but it's just too heavy and not ideal for this black carpet setup. So it is what it is for USGT, but I'm having lots of fun on F1.
I just want to go and get some footage now on F1 after I've ran 3 quals. I just want to show you what it's like now. I just feel like it's binding up somewhere, but it should be faster than this. With an FDR at 2.7, it should be faster than this. So maybe I have a bearing or something gone wrong with it, but that's full pin the whole way around that sweeper. So this is the fastest it's been yet, but I still think this is like a mid 11-second lap. Anyway, I've learned the track better. I just hold full pin around this corner. Compared to my first footage that I did, you can see how much better the car is handling the corners now. Oh! Anyway, that's some laps with F1. This is currently the best I can get it so far. I want to get more speed to it, but I'm afraid of gearing up even more. I've geared up a lot. I started out with a 3.3 FDR, and now I'm at a 2.7. So my fast lap was an 11.7. That still sucks. My best I could ever do was an 11.2. I need more speed out of this car, and I just don't know what to do to get it there.
We've got a pretty big field of F1 cars. I was planning to run 3 classes here. I was also here to run the new Mugen MTC2R on the black carpet. I went to go put the spec tire on, because it's a spec tire for TC, and I snapped the front axle right off. The front axle on the new Mugen is hollow, and it's significantly weaker than the old car. So anyway, I broke it, and I don't have any parts, and no one here has any parts because it's a new car. So anyway, it is what it is. So we're going to go out there and race 2 classes today at the CTSR Christmas race. Should be fun. Okay, so this is downstairs as you come in. This facility has St-Roch deck hockey, as well as it has indoor RC off-road and indoor RC on-road. This is the off-road section of the track, so as soon as you come in the front doors, they have a banner for their upcoming off-road race in January of 2024. This will be a race that I hopefully will attend. This is the indoor off-road. This is the clay track, and yeah, I've never actually ridden on a race on this track yet, but I hope to in the coming year, 2024. We'll try and do that. So there's some guys here just doing pit, as well as the cars that you hear are on the oval. There's an oval track on the other side. The track's is slashes with Mud Boss bodies on. And this is an example of what an oval. This is oval racing. Whoa! Yeah, so this is happening simultaneously to us having the race upstairs. And then as well, here at this facility, there's a really well-stocked, with all the stuff racers need, hobby shop. And then this is the st-roch hobby shop. Here's all of the basher trucks for you to get, as well as all of the repair parts that you could ever need for most of the brands that we race. Associated, TLR, all the off-road tires. For the Mud Boss guys, there's a whole back row of Traxxas there. For all the bashers and stuff, here's all the Arma stuff. Some of the new Armas, the new Arma Gorgon, the new Arma Grom, new Arma Big Rock Success. Bunch of axial parts, all kinds of stuff. And then for the kind of unique racing stuff, which you normally don't see at other hobby shops, like Montec, F1 wings, all of the racing tires that we need for spec racing on road, CRC 12 scale, all of the CRC parts. So that's great. It's nice to see a hobby shop that is dedicated to racing, but also having stuff that just brings in everyone, you know, like 24 scale crawlers and stuff. So that's cool. So yeah, this is a really cool facility in St-Roch, Quebec. You guys here tuning up their stuff, speed secrets, setup boards, little sub-millimeters here and there make a big difference on these on-road cars. So you've got setup boards and tweak boards and all kinds of tips. Joe Glover's checking his ride height, or droop settings probably. Ride or droop, I don't know. One or the other. And my pit partner here is Jim Rogers. He's going to run 12 scale, Super Stock 12th, and TTGT. Good luck, bud. Do a little pit walk before the day gets started. So everyone's pretty much doing their own thing. Okay. Everybody. Oh yes, tire truing. So on 12 scale, you want to true down your tires. It's a messy job. Makes a heck of a thing, but yeah, you're trying to get off all the foam and make them nice and round.
14.1.
Okay.
11.4.
Oh, there's an F1 being worked on.
3.
Right on.
13.1.
This gentleman's actually running the same Mugen that I have. Unfortunately, mine's out for the count, but yeah, he's got the new car. Loving it, loving it. He's got the setup station on it this morning.
12.3.
Oh, speed secrets. Getting it dialed in, looking good.
11.9. 11.8.
This is interesting. This is like, what class is this called? The W...
World GTR.
Yeah, World GTR is this, it's like a pan car, 10 scale sedan, I guess?
No, it's a pan car, 10 scale pan car.
Yeah, it's a 10 scale pan car on rubber tires. Or is this F1?
It's the same as F1,
It's-
but not the same rims.
Oh,
Just not the same, but it's the same car.
okay,
In
interesting.
Oval, they use that.
Okay, interesting. There's another F1 World car. F1, apparently there's a grade of like 30 plus F1s here, so that should be good. I'm really setting myself up for a lot of competition in my first F1 race. Driver stand. Also, while you're driving, you have, if you want to be distracting yourself, you can look up and see your live stats as you go. So that's pretty neat. So you can see here the average laps is around 11 to 12 seconds for these guys. Carry on through the pit walk. Team Rezo. Some nice looking, no more World GT, F1, TTGT. A lot of stuff going on. Everyone's got their cars on their pit setup boards, their tweak boards, getting everything all set up. Everyone's doing what I should be doing, which is getting their cars ready. And then at the very end of the track, they've got this slot set up for slots. I'm not a slot car guy, but this looks pretty fun. And then here is the very back of the track. And I think so far on what I did on my practice laps yesterday, this section was the most fun. Go ahead. This is really satisfying to get right because look at how narrow this is. So really getting your entry and exit of this section is quite satisfying. I do like that a lot. So far I've been able to do it without hitting anything, and hopefully we can keep on doing that and get these cars through the day. So today's going to be qual 1, qual 2, qual 3. Tomorrow will be qual 4 and mains, and yesterday was just open practice. Get here, get your pit set up, that type of stuff. Actually, something that I really like that they did at this race is your pits were assigned. So when you sign up, if you're confirmed coming, they give you a pit table. That immediately, for people who are traveling to the race, that makes a big difference. Take an extra day off work just to get here ahead of time to make sure you've got your pit set up, pit space. So reserved pit tables, I really like that. Thank you CTSR for doing reserved pit tables. Really like that. Okay, so that was a little pit walk. One thing I have noticed here immediately from coming out just on a practice night yesterday was the black carpet picks up so much more fuzz and stuff and oil than the old gray ozite does that we race in Smiths Falls. So these tires have recently been cleaned. You're cleaning with brake cleaner. That tends to be the best. Most of the guys around here are all running brake cleaner to clean their tires. And just the amount of black, gross grit that you get off them is surprising. I'll show you later when I do a wipe and how much crap and fuzz we get off. Might be a good idea to do your chassis too. See some of that residue on the outside of the chassis? That also gets picked up from that black carpet. It does seem to kick up a lot of oil. This is the fuzz I was talking about that comes off the track. That's for after a run. So yeah, you gotta wipe all of that stuff off. So I'm gonna show you that now. Yeah, you pretty much just have to do that after every single run to get all of that pickup off the tires. It's critical. You pretty much have to. And then you want to, after you clean, then you sauce. Now the rules here is the sauce has to be the SXT 3.0 normal, not the max. You have to run the normal stuff. Usually for the gray ozite carpet we're running max. Here it's SXT 3.0, just standard grip level. Because the black carpet has so much more grip than I'm used to at my home track. So you don't need to run max anyway. It would probably hurt you if you did. So on black carpet, there's so much grip. For steering, you want to glue the outside of your front wheels. So these are used wheels that already have it done. Using the Pro Line glue, it kind of makes this like plastic outer sheath that makes a huge difference in preventing rollover. So on the rears don't have it done to them, and you can see how much softer that sidewall is. They have a little bit. Walk, there was a bunch of those 10 scale pan cars, World GT. That's what these are. We're in the third qualifier now. So this is practice laps. This is the World GT cars going around. So they handle like pan cars, but they have big sedan bodies on them. So I guess they handle a little bit worse.
Standing longer, we're going to have only for you guys. So, Tony, Kansasan, les autres.
Also, before every qualifier, you have to weigh your car to make sure you're within tech specs. You have to check your ride height for your chassis. You have to check your voltage for your run. So you have to make sure you're not over voltage. And there by 0.1 of a volt difference, if you're off, you got to run it down a bit. So 8.4 volts max, 4.2 volts max for a one cell. Looks like we've got a rising star type program going on. All right. Yeah, new racers. Qual 3's finished. I've ran my F1 and USGT. Live music starting. We're all kind of in party mode now. Christmas party, Christmas race. F1 though, I geared up a lot. I went to a 2.7 FDR. and I crashed 3 times. I got marshaled 3 times in that race, so it was a bad run. But I did manage to get my quickest lap time yet, which is an 11.28. But still, even when I was like 3 or 4 teeth less than that, I did 11.3. So I'm not sure how I can get into the 10s on this car. I'm going to practice tonight and see if I can get there. Okay, starting in 10 minutes. This is day 3 at the track. This is Qual 4 and Mains Day at CTSR Christmas race. I stayed a bit last night trying to get this F1 faster. I took the motor out, put it on a motorizer, played around with the timing. If I crank the timing to like beyond 60 degrees on the can, it motorizes at 65 and pulls 10 amps. So I dropped it down to where I'm getting it overdriven versus stock. So I've kind of set it where it's getting a 6 amp draw. I'm getting 1500 or 15,000 RPM versus stock should be around 12,000 RPM on a 25.5 on 2S. So I'm getting more speed out of it, but I'm still feel a little bit limited. Something's going on with this motor. This is the XC-Run 25.5 G3. It's about 5 years old. I was reading online. Apparently they said it was a revvy motor. I'm not feeling it though, but maybe I'm just not used to 25.5. Qual 4 is done. We're about to go out for the mains next in 20 minutes. I ran the USGT and the F1, so some updates after Qual 4 in the USGT. It's, I mean, I'm doing okay, and I am almost the slowest in this class. I am not last, I am second from last, so it is what it is. I'm just gonna run my main and try and have fun with it. Like I said, the car is too heavy and just not competitive chassis for here, for a black carpet championship. Big changes on the F1. I was having all kinds of problems trying to figure out what was wrong with this thing all weekend long, and ended up being, after going out with Qual 4 with a loaner motor, it woke right up. So the Hobbywing 25.5 that I had, so this is the motor that I've had in my F1 all weekend. This is the used Hobbywing XC-Run G3 25.5 that I picked up used, and I put it on the motor handler last night, was playing with the timing, trying to get it to wake it up. Anyway, long story short, this motor has been cooked in the past, and it's done. It's demagnetized, which I'd never dealt with a 25.5 before. Eddie was saying that it could even have more of a strong magnet, so it shouldn't be able to just spin it easily in your hand. It should have a noticeable cog. There's like no cog to this motor at all. So I was given a loaner from Zombie Canada, the Zombie Evolution 2 Pro Spec 25.5, and I put this in the F1 car before running Qual 4. And I was, since it's a loaner motor, and what a beautiful motor it is, I must say. I went down a tooth as well, 2 teeth actually, to make sure I wasn't going to overcook this motor. So I went out with a 2.8 FDR, and I ran my best qual yet. I gained a whole lap and I moved up 2 positions. So I am 9th overall with F1. So we're about to go out for the mains next. There is a very slim possibility that I might be able to do a podium in the B with this, but I don't know. It's the competition stiff. Everyone's on it for the mains. We're going to see. So that's my update for Q4 heading into the mains. Christmas race. Okay, my racing's done. I just want to give you an update on how my mains went. USGT. I was starting at the back of the B, and on like lap 3 to 5, I had a big crash at this sweeper corner here. You're coming off the straightaway, full straightaway, right turn in. The car rolled, hit the wall, and then it was a bad crash. I thought the car was broken. The marshal picked it up, and there was a part in his hand, and then they just left me going. And so I was running around, racing the rest of the time, and I kept falling down the grid. Ended up being that my transponder fell right out of the car. So I raced that whole race with no transponder in. So it is what it is. I did terrible in B main. In F1, I managed to move myself up in Qual 4 up 2 positions. That put me in the start of the B, so technically BQ, because we combined an A, B, and C together, so I was starting at the top of the B in pole position. I managed to race that whole race beautifully with this new Zombie Evo 2 motor. I put in 1 tooth with it. I was running a 2.7 FDR, which was a little aggressive, but I wanted to make sure I had the straightaway speed. F1, Evo, F1, Roche, Evo 2, and I won the B main. So super happy with that. Taking home a first place trophy, taking home some hardware. The B main at the CTSR Christmas race. So yeah, that's my race vlog of the 2023 CTSR Christmas race and loved it here. Best time here. So they ran this race beautifully. They fed us on Friday night and Saturday night and during the day with all kinds of snacks and fun, and everyone was super helpful here, super nice. I have a bit of a language barrier issue because I don't speak French, but you know, they do what they can to make things clear for us English people who show up here. This is a world-class facility. If you're in this area or are willing to make the travel plans to come here, you should do it. It is a great place to race. CTSR, Christmas 2023.